So you're at home right now? Where do we find you?
Yes, I'm at home. I got back from Europe on Monday night, so I'm pretty caught up now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Now that
you
I'm
must
back
be
home.
enjoying a few days of peace and quiet before it all kicks off again because you're over to India for a couple of days before Singapore, then coming back here. So it's fair to say it's a busy time for you. June, absolutely huge download, Resurrection, Grass Pop. Like how was that whole experience? Because it looked phenomenal.
Yeah, it was awesome. It's always fun going and doing the festival run over there. We've done it a few times now, and it was like our third download. Got to play a couple of new festivals too, which was cool, but it all went really good. I reckon it was like our best experience over there. I think the crowds were really into it this time, so yeah, good times.
Yeah, and obviously summer over there as well. Do you prefer performing in like hot or cold, or as a climate make a difference? Because obviously traveling as a vocalist, I don't know, like you're obviously way past that now, but I don't know if you ever have the anxiety of going between climates, going, please don't get sick, please don't get sick, please don't get sick.
Oh, 100%. I mean, the heat definitely helps because it's like you don't need to warm up your voice as much. Or, I mean, it stays warm while you're
Mm.
performing, I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But that being said, we played a couple of festivals where we played at like 4 in the afternoon and the sun was like directly on stage the whole time.
Yeah.
So that's pretty uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But I guess, yeah, I like a middle ground, which is pretty boring. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it was good. It was good to play in the summer. It was actually really, really hot over there this time. So
Yeah, it's
it's
been
kind
a
of nice to be back in the like Australian cool weather now.
it's been a belting summer for them over there as well. But I guess like yeah, on the India thing, have you guys been over to India before? Have you performed over there?
No, this is our first time there, so I don't know what to expect at all, both from, I guess, the weather and the heavy music scene over there. So it's going to be exciting.
What about the fan base? Have you got any indication of like Northlane fans over in India? Like, how did this whole thing come to be?
Yeah, no clue at all, to be honest. We got an offer for that, and it's somewhere we've been wanting to go for a long time. So yeah, it all worked out. I have no idea what the scene is like over there, so it's all going to be a bit of a shock once we get there.
They say heavy music is like the flavor of the country, really. It's a kind of a surprise for people because obviously, like from an outsider's perspective, if you put zero brain cells into thinking about it, you would think, well, there's no way they like heavy music. You know what Indian music sounds like in your brain.
Yeah.
But yeah, allegedly, like really, really supportive heavy music industry and scene over there. So it should be great. And of course, so many potential Northlane fans as well. Hope you're bringing lots of merch.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's what I've heard. The fans over there are pretty crazy, so I'm hoping that the rumors are true.
Hmm.
So how are you finding this little brief period at home? Because it probably would have been a while since you've had a chance to catch up and have, I suppose, a decent night's sleep as well. Are you making the most of this before you jet off again? Because you got India and, as I said, Singapore, then back here for an extended period of time, then back over to the US. So when you find a little bit of time off, I know my co-host is pretty keen to talk to you about some bouldering. Is that what
Oh,
you like to do to relax?
absolutely. I mean, yeah, it's good to be back in my own bed, and yeah, I've already hit my local bouldering gym on Wednesday. So yeah, I like to. I guess just being back at the local gym is also really nice. We went to a couple of spots while I was overseas, um, which was cool, kind of experiencing different versions of that. But it's kind of uh, my local one's my comfort zone, I guess. So yeah, it's been
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that because, yeah, recently I went to Europe on holiday and it was one of the cool things just like trying to spot climbing gyms because I've been climbing for maybe 3, 4 years now, and it's a great pastime. Obviously, your local gym where your friends are and all the stuff that you know. Obviously, it's like comfy, but yeah, going overseas, it's such a cool like thing to travel with, especially if you like climb a little bit outdoors as well, or just like the gyms over there and there's different grading, and then it's very humbling too because you're like, well, I feel like I'm getting all right, and then you go climb somewhere else and you're like, oh, I actually suck.
Absolutely. I went to a couple of spots in the UK while we were there, and all their setting was so hard. I was struggling over there. Also went to one in Berlin though that was really cool. It was so massive. I feel like
Mm.
in Europe in particular, like it's pretty big here, but over there it's like a whole other monster. So
Yeah, we're catching up to them,
um
I think.
yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there. But yeah, no, it's a lot of fun. Yeah, it was a good thing to kind of also force myself to get out of the bus, get out of the venue every day to kind of explore the city as well as go for a climb. So
For
it's
sure.
yeah, it's good.
Yeah, Japan will be really soul crushing. That's like the worst thing. Like you're climbing like nothing there, and it's crazy. They're nuts.
Uh, yeah, I've heard that. I'm kind of scared to go to the one in Japan. So,
Yeah.
but I'm looking forward to it. Just yeah, be humbled.
Hell yeah. Now, I just want to ask you a couple of questions about like the early days of Northlane for you, because of course like you took over vocal duties from the original vocalist and stuff. And of course that like kind of puts different I don't know, it's a different experience, coming into a band when there's already been like a bit of like foundation laid. What was that like for you, and what was the audition process for you? Because they did like a bit of a casting call. So has that ever been surfaced to the Northlane fans? Is there like a Discord where there's like a Marcus audition video floating around somewhere? Because I couldn't find anything.
Yeah, no, that's still floating around on my YouTube channel,
Okay, okay.
which I have not listened to in a long time and probably don't want to because I feel like I've definitely grown a lot since then.
The video is about to become unlisted.
Yeah, but yeah, it was wild. It was kind of yeah, full Northlane Idol or something.
Mm-hmm.
We they kind of put out the call for people trying out and kind of sent my renditions of some old songs in and also did like a version. They had like an instrumental song on their album Singularity where they wanted you to write a piece over that to kind of also get an idea of um, how you can create music as well. Um, and yeah, I went for something a bit different. I think there was a lot of people doing the extreme heavy vocal kind of stuff, and that was like not really my forte back in the day. So I kind of went for a bit more of a melodic approach, and the guys were into it. But yeah, it's definitely a weird thing to kind of come into a band that's already well established, and it takes a bit of time to kind of get the old fans on side. But nowadays, it feels like yeah, it's been my
Well,
band for a long time, and yeah,
you
the,
did
the
it,
the
man.
people are yeah, we're still around. I feel like a lot of people who or a lot of bands who get a new vocalist can kind of struggle to maintain the whole thing. So really grateful that we're still able to be going on.
For sure. And what did your life look like before that point in time? Were you in another band? Like, were you sort of working on your own stuff? And I guess like did that moment for you feel like a make or break moment where were you considering like doing other things other than music if this didn't work out? Like, where were you at?
Yeah, I was in like other bands around Sydney, and honestly, no, I feel like I've always music's always kind of been my thing, and it's always been the focus. So I feel like even if the Northlane thing didn't work out, I'd still be grinding, trying to do my own thing. But yeah, like you said, it's like kind of like a full on dream come true kind of thing where that's what I've always wanted to do, and this opportunity came along that really changed my life. So yeah, I'm super stoked to be a part of what we're doing.
For sure, for sure.
Do you feel that North Lane is probably peaking at the moment? I guess, we've just listed off all these huge festivals you played in the last month alone. And, last year you brought out that EP and you had Winston on there and Ian Kenny and stuff. And like I was a huge Parkway Drive fan back in the early days. I used to watch them at the Corner Hotel back in Melbourne.
Yeah.
And then to see what they've done and gone on to do. And, they rarely come back to Australia now because they're just so huge over in Europe. And you've just had that big month. Can you kind of see Northlane emulating that? And like I said, it just feels like you're peaking right now, but maybe there's still room to grow.
Yeah, I think that's the cool thing about our band is that it's felt like we've just been constantly growing and been constantly on the rise. I know I feel like there's always this thing where in your mind you're like, oh, I just want everything to like blow up and just we're at the top now or whatever. But I kind of really like that we've just been steadily growing and having this kind of cult following, and as time goes on, more and more people jump on board. It feels like a constant rise for us. So hopefully stuff keeps growing, and it feels like it is. But yeah, it's an
Well,
interesting one.
the three arias is certainly a bit of a signifier of the fact that you guys are doing all right as well. So it's only three, right? I'm not falling one short that I missed somewhere. It's three, yeah, yeah.
Yep, that's the one.
And you guys have been on a pretty bloody good run lately when it comes to releasing albums and winning arias. So on that, what are we thinking? New music, of course. The Mirror's Edge EP came out last year, and really cool stuff, obviously. And a bit of a slightly different like thing for you guys. Like, what's the future looking like for you guys with releases?
Yeah, we're working on new stuff at the moment. Same with Mirror's Edge. We're kind of not trying to rush it out too quickly. I guess with that only being released last year, we've still got a bit of time up our sleeves to put stuff out before people forget about us. But yeah, we're working on stuff at the moment, and we're hoping to have it all out, um, hopefully early next year.
Cool.
But yeah, yeah. What like I said, not rushing it, making sure it's all perfect, and it feels like a bit of a I don't know. I feel like with our band, we've been able to kind of explore lots of different styles and try different things to the point where um, we're not expected to be just doing one thing. So I feel
Mm.
like this is going to be a bit more of a maybe like a more electronic-y, but still like in like I think really heavy release that's coming up. So
Yeah, I was
it's
gonna
exciting.
ask you like how you feel about I guess the recent releases. It kind of feels like to somebody on the outside that they almost feel like individual concept albums in and of themselves, you know, like the visual like imagery that goes along with it, you guys have put so much time and effort into clearly as well, and they kind of encapsulate their own world. Is that kind of how it feels like to you guys when you're putting out like a full body of work?
Yeah, absolutely. I guess in our minds, we're never looking back being like we need to emulate the success of what came before or whatever that is. It's always about trying to push ourselves and do something new. And whether that still kind of has these elements from what we've done in the past or not, I guess it's still a matter of taking everything on board and just doing what feels right to us and what feels good for the music. So yeah, it's a constant growth and it's a constant. I think we're constantly like stepping forward.
And looking at the background of your room that we find you in at the moment, I can see a Pikachu hanging down from the wall, maybe a Mew, I think, and some cards and stuff. Like, how much does like video games and video game culture inspire, I guess, you and maybe the band generally? Because of course, like yeah, the Mirror's Edge EP, you know, you've got that. Of course, the Fretless collaboration that you guys did, which is super cool. Really ripping soundtrack, and or like of course like Rob Scallon being producing that. It's of course it's going to have that flavor, but. Yeah, what like is that a big inspiration piece for you guys? Like,
Yeah, I think it's not never like directly like potentially in like the lyrics or anything. It's never directly kind of influencing that per se, but I think we're all gamers and we all love as well like that futuristic kind of style of games that are coming out at the moment. And yeah, we're all nerds at heart really. I mean, the last tour we're on the guys were playing. Have you heard of PoE 2? It's like a Diablo style game.
yes,
Were playing that every single
just
day.
grinding. While
Yes, literally
bouldering.
grinding. Yeah, I've been going boulder in there on their PlayStations.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's I feel like that kind of fantasy futuristic kind of thing is always something that's in the back of our minds and that kind of imagery probably
Mm.
influences us in a little way as well.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, this tour coming up here in Australia kicks off on the 1st of August. It's going to be vastly different to the last month you've had, big festivals over in Europe, and now you're going, regional all over Australia. Uh, you're playing Toowoomba, you're kicking things off in Gladstone. It's going to be different. But are you looking forward to, I mean, A, being back home and playing shows, but sort of, I guess, back to grassroots style shows in, smaller venues and getting dirty with the people?
Absolutely. I mean, it's always fun to get back to that. And yeah, it's kind of a little taste of the old days in a way. And yeah, like the big things overseas or the headline shows in the capital cities are always fun, but it's always good to get back to those smaller rooms where it is, yeah, a lot more intimate, a lot more sweaty. Um, I feel like the crowds in the places like Gladstone and stuff like that, they are super appreciative of bands like us coming into their town and playing a smaller show, and that usually is reflected in how the crowd interacts, and it seems like they go like really crazy at those kind of shows. So it's always a good time. It's always good to get back to that.
Well, the old reference point is always Parkway Drive's Byron Bay High School shows. You know, I mean, like there's a reason why those have been so big and so talked about with such reverence for so many years. And I know that the energy in these shows are going to be immense on the Gold Coast. You guys are playing at the Cooley Hotel, which you've played a couple of times before. And yeah, big sweaty energy in that room. It's gonna be mad, of course, just across from the beach as well. So should be a big one here, and so many other great venues that are just gonna be caked with sweat on the ceiling. You know what you're getting into. It's gonna be huge.
Absolutely. I can't wait. Can't wait.
And you're bringing, you've got different support acts across different states as well. Is that a decision you guys made purposely to get, different bands a bit of, limelight? Because it's been a huge point of not contention here in Australia, but, they're talking about passing laws that, anytime a big international act comes here, they have to have an Australian support act. Is that something you guys are pretty big on? Because, live music in Australia, it is going through it at the moment. So it's really great that you can bring these guys along with you as well. So you got Headwreck, Heists, Dark Matter, and Loon as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I think for us, and even me before I was in Northlane, those kind of shows where a bigger band is playing and playing these smaller shows, it really gives an opportunity to highlight, yeah, those bands that are from that area, and hopefully gives them a bit of a platform to step off and just get more heads in front of them. So it was definitely intentional to be doing something like this and putting them on such a sick lineup. So yeah, hopefully everyone's there early, bright and early to see these bands that maybe they've not seen before or heard of before.
It's going to be absolutely massive. Yeah, can't wait. Obviously, it's starting really, really soon. Is there anywhere that you haven't played that you're looking forward to going, like either area or venue?
I think there is. Well, I'm trying to think of in particular.
Because you're playing the Panthers Club over in Penrith as well, which has obviously got a bit of a different reputation as well. Have you played that room before? 'Cause that's pretty massive.
Yeah, we've played Panthers, and I feel like that's also like it's almost a hometown show for Northlane.
Yeah.
Northlane kind of came up Western Sydney vibes,
Yep.
so it feels like that's such a good place to go back to and kind of bring back some old memories, you know. So yeah, it's exciting to be doing Panthers again. Very keen.
And I guess one question that you might or might not be able to answer. We just caught the news that apparently Foo Fighters got asked to play the AFL Grand Final at the end of the year. They couldn't do it because they had conflict of interest with playing the Singapore GP. You guys are touring
Mhm.
around the same time. Is there a chance? Is there a chance? North Plain AFL Grand Final. You heard it here first.
I mean, we have not been offered that, but I would definitely not say no. That would be so sick.
All right.
Also, though, I wonder if that's the kind of thing that we maybe scare some AFL fans with the heavier stuff. But
Good. You got to let them
yeah,
know.
absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, so hit us up, AFL. We'd be
Yep.
down.
That's it. That's what I wanted for the show. We're gonna bring it together. We're gonna be the meeting point. It's gonna finally happen.
Beautiful.
Marcus, thanks so much for your time. The All Over Australia tour kicks off in August, well, late July. You've got a couple of dates in India, as we spoke about before that. But tickets available through Destroy All Lines or northlaneband.com. Mate, we can't wait for this one. It's going to be absolutely huge. And sticky floors, sweat and beer everywhere. It's going to be tasty.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Don't take any risks with the food over in India. We want you back here healthy for a big Australian tour.
That's what I've heard. Don't eat the street food over there.
You're
But
gonna want
can't
to do
wait,
it.
can't wait.
It will smell
Yep.
good, but don't do it.
Beautiful. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, man. All
Thanks,
right,
man.
let's
Appreciate
let's
it.
bowl it together when you're on the Gold Coast.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
All right, gotcha, man. Thanks.